Today, my friends, is episode 5 of the solo DragonBane series, following Willie the Wizard and his companion Paramon and their badger pet Petunia. Today should be a long episode, as promised, so without any other further ado, I say, let's break it down. So, we've been out on the road for dang near a whole day. We left the town of Polgara, encountered a weird guy by the name of Oliver, and I've got a striking suspicion that he's got some kind of connection with the Truthful Pegasus faction. He may come back around again. Good thing we didn't kill him. But me and Petunia have been getting on pretty well. I think that this giant badger's gonna be an awesome new addition to our little traveling party that we have together. It's gonna be great. What's that, Charles? Oh, he wants me to remind you that our friend Paramon actually wrote us a poem about our adventure so far. Go ahead, Paramon.
From road to Polgara, boots split and sore, we chased missing pages, truths and lore. The town kept eating, yet need still be fed. Prayers to a demon of hunger and dread. My songs hid their secrets in rhythm and breath. One wrong note from my fear, famine and death. Now a new town awaits, where my heart's compass goes, with the truthful Pegasus guarding the trail to my love.
Well, goodness, doesn't that just get you going? Because it gets me going. Well, I say it's time to continue on with our adventure and our story. Back to the other guy. Well, hi, hello, everybody. My name is Turk. Welcome back to the Grouch Couch. Around here, we do all different kinds of weird TTRPG things. But today, yes, we're continuing on with DragonBane. I hope you like that intro. Fun stuff. Quick little poem that I wrote up. Should be good to go. At the top here, I want to tell everybody today's episode 5. I usually do all of my campaigns in episodes of 5. And then I take a little bit of break. And then once I have inspiration, I usually come back around and do it again. But also, it depends on you guys. If this last video here, episode 5, gets enough likes, then I'll come back sooner and I'll do even more episodes right here of DragonBane. So make sure to leave a like and leave a comment down below yelling at me, telling me how much you want me to continue the series. Now, the story's been a lot of fun so far. Here in this final episode, I do one last time want to say thank you so much for following this adventure. Willie the Wizard is one of my favorite characters. He was my first ever real D&D character that I kind of kept with me. So it's one that kind of, always sits close to your heart. I don't know what it is about him, but we've done a lot of things with Willie the Wizard over the years, including we actually did a comic with him where he goes through a portal and has a sidekick named Shane who's from the modern world. It's a lot of fun. If I can, I'll leave a link to that comic down in the description if you want some more Willie the Wizard. Also, way back in the day, I don't know. At the root, the beginning of this channel, I actually wrote a rap song as Willie the Wizard. I recorded it, performed it. It's actually up on our Spotify. The Grouch Couch has a Spotify. We actually have done music for previous campaigns and other kinds of stuff like that. And it's all on there. I will also include the link to Willie the Wizard's rap song down in the description as well. Pretty insane stuff, y'all. So if you want some more Willie in the meantime, that's where you can hop over and get it. Now, with all that being said, we've got a lot of comments to go over from you guys and things to vote on and what have you. I am going to do my best to make this double as long as I usually do if I have the time today. I'm going to try to make this double as long just because you guys really wanted it and I really want to do it. I want to cover more ground here. So we're going to see how that goes. All right. Fingers crossed. So hopping over to the comments section here. Thank you guys for all the lovely comments. I do always try to consider all my actual play series as, collaborative storytelling, let you guys to have input and let me know what's going on. I like to try to include your suggestions as best that I always can. And I've always done that, and I don't think that'll ever change. So if you ever do have an idea for something, make sure to leave a comment, all right? Just some good stuff. I always read these comments as soon as you guys post them, and then I like to come here and reread them and respond to them more when I'm recording the episode. So Caius actually has a really good suggestion. I think advertently, this next village could be absolutely a village of hunters, right? At least maybe the Truthful Pegasus has something going on with going to kill those orcs. And I think that Oliver is a part of the Truthful Pegasus, and he's like an initiate, right? Go out there and kill an orc and bring back his head, and Oliver's never really killed anyone before, and so he's really wanting to join in on this group. I think that's why he was so bad at archery, because he's never done it before. So I think he's a part of the Truthful Pegasus, and I do think that is something that is going on, right? I don't know about being named the village champion. That's a little bit more barbaric, I think. But definitely for joining the faction, yes. And there is orcs, and other cool stuff for playing in the Bestiary source book. Of course, I need to get my hands on that bad boy. I've got it sitting on my old Amazon wish list, and I always look at it and I'm like, I also really want the new DragonBane stuff. I want to solo the new stuff. We'll see if that ever happens, right? Greek solo is also making fun of me because in the last episode, all the tools I've introduced into this campaign has become a lot, and I actually talk about it in my recent tips video, analysis paralysis. But sometimes it's also really fun to juggle a bunch of tools and just have options and just go through stuff. That scene that we built out, the first one anyway, the second one anyway, in the forest with Oliver in the last episode, we built the crap out of that scene before we even acted in it, and I thought that was fun. Also, you badger fucker, come sleep next to Wheeler. It's funny. Oh, and yes, so the main reason we're looking at comments is because I actually left it up to you guys. So you guys want to name this village and kind of give us a little bit of an idea of what's going on. And I was like, we'll throw it into a roll chart and we'll all roll on it. But the only real suggestion we got was from Onion Kid, and it was for Hartsbane, the hunter's town, rough and rural. The citizens here are all skilled in bushcraft and hunting. They are beset at all times by monsters and must learn to defend themselves. Recently, the gluttony cult has started attacking them, hence the 3 hanged cultists. The people of Hartsbane are a bit unhinged from being remote and under attack all the time. I think that's really good. I don't know if they've been fully attacked by the people of gluttony, but I do like to think that from what we did, there was a ripple effect that sent some people from the cult of gluttony to this village, and that's when they found them and just hung them up. Like, no one else come here, right? But because I don't want to continue on with an old problem, I want to start new problems for our story. So we're not going to say that they're now getting attacked by the gluttony people because we want something new, right? Also fun ideas about reincarnation of Petunia. Maybe we can figure that out from the roll of the dice. We're going to have to remember that. But anyways, yes. So Hartsbane, very much so a hunting gathering kind of village. We're super into that. But we're also going to roll some dice to flesh it out a little bit more, I think. And the idea of the 7 pages being the 7 deadly sins is 1,000,000% what we're going to go with. Oh, Philadelphia. I didn't see that on the end there. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But yes, 7 deadly sins in the 7 pages. Cool. So we already have 1 page. Fantastic. Okay, so one other thing I want to say, I probably should have said this up at the top. We may return to this story, but we may use a different system when we do it. Or we may add in other things from DragonBane, because there are some fun DragonBane things that have released, right? At least whenever we do return, we may not be using the downcrawl cards. I've learned recently of some other cards called the Mage's Apprentice cards that are what I wanted from these. But these are meant for downcrawl, the game. And I feel like it has hindered me a lot to try and use them in this way. I think it's been creatively challenging, which is good because I always love to challenge myself. But there are these cards called the Mage's Apprentice. So if we ever return to playing this way with this game, we're not going to use the downcrawl cards. So today will be the last episode we're going to be using these in this way. Also, I said it a couple of times. I was like, I'm going to make a full review of these so you guys can check it out on the channel and et cetera, et cetera. But I don't like to put up videos and other kinds of things whenever I don't have positive things to say. You know, I like to showcase and show you guys the best of stuff. So when you click on a video, you know, oh, this is cool. Turk showing me because it's cool, right? That's what I like to do. I don't want to just bash on some stuff. So I haven't put up a video on these yet because I'm not sure exactly how I feel about them yet, even though we've played 4 episodes fully with these, not in the way they're supposed to be. So what was my point? I do have ADHD, y'all. When we come back to this story, if we're not playing DragonBane, we may be playing something else, but still following along with the story, right? Depends on how I'm feeling. But we might return to DragonBane with different supplements and like a set thing of supplements that we're going to be using, all right? So let me mull about in my brain for that for a little bit, and we'll come back to it. That's my point. Okay, I think without any other shenanigans, right? You guys, make sure to use links in descriptions to help support the show. It's actually helped me a lot. You guys have been using those links to pick up things from drive-thru and other kinds of stuff, and it's really been helping me a lot, and I really just want to say thank you so much for doing that. And other than that, remember to like, and let's continue. So here we are at the table camera. Very cool stuff. I actually have, this is the poem that our boy Paramon wrote, and I know that my handwriting's horrible, but I do actually have a hope this year to work on my handwriting and my journaling skills, because I feel like that's one thing that I lack in when it comes to solo role-playing, and I want to improve on my handwriting and journaling, all right? So we'll see how that goes. And I'll talk more about that in an upcoming video about how to take better notes, because I've been learning. All right, one final shout out, if you guys will let me, to this awesome mini that Sword and Stone Hobby sent me. Such cool people making awesome stuff. We love small publishers and indie developers. We love to be able to support them because everything they do is just out of love, right? So if you ever do want to pick up some minis for your games or some dice or whatever, make make sure to check out the link down in the description. Heck yeah. Big shout out to them for doing this for me. It's just fantastic. And I was only able to get this made because of you guys using them links. So thank you so much for doing that. Now, our story must begin. Our story that has yet to ever have been storied, you guys. That's what we're talking about today. Willie and Paramon, we're gonna skip over the beginning a little bit here, get to the meat and potatoes of today's episode. I think they wrap up everything in the morning, pack up their camps, pack up the cart. We need to remember that our supply check is now a 13 instead of a 14 because we spent a night camping. I also might lower it if we spend too much time away from our cart. Things might get stolen, or food might go bad. So we gotta remember that. Our current supply check is at 13. Just gonna put that right there. And now we're back on the cart, we're back on the road. I think it's gonna take a little bit of the morning to finish off our trek to Hartsbane. I had to mute my phone, it's bothering me. To finish off our trek to Hartsbane, it's gonna take the rest of the morning, but since we got a critical success on navigating the night before, I think we still know where we're going. Everything is fine, we're not gonna worry about making that check. But as we approach Hartsbane, we already know that it's kind of like a hunter-gatherer village, right? We covered that at the beginning, and so I'm assuming they're like wooden huts. They aren't like big old brick houses or anything else like that. Like wooden cottages with some yards, stuff like that. But I do want to flesh this town out a little bit because we might be spending a little bit of time here in today's episode. So we're going to whip out Table Fables 2 and see exactly what we can roll on for this town. So we have here in this book, I want to ask, is this a hamlet, a village, or a town? We already know it's not a city, but we'll go on ahead and roll this D4 anyway. If we get the 4, we'll roll it again. That is a 4. Roll it again. And again. 2. Okay, so it's a village. It is 1d20 times 1,000 people, times 100 people. 19. Okay, 1,900. Which isn't as big as Polgara, because Polgara had 10k. That was a lot. Okay, well now we'll roll to see what their quality of life is. This will help visualize a lot of stuff for us, and also it might help us think about their trade and kind of how their trade's going and other kinds of stuff like that. So what is their quality of dismal? That's a 6. Dismal quality of life. So maybe it's dismal because of a page that could be here. You know what I mean? But this kind of means like things right now are not going well for these people. Okay, we'll go to their primary export. Maybe that'll tell us a little bit more about it. Whoops, in the box, please. There we go. That's a 2. Coal. I don't think coal is it. Coal isn't it. We'll roll again. 3, livestock. Okay. Their primary export is livestock, which makes a little bit of sense because they're hunter-gatherer people, so maybe they go out into, the wilderness and stuff and they hunt down livestock. That's cool. Oh, and don't let me forget. I'm going to write down the 7 deadly sins as its own roll chart. Since we've already done gluttony, we could put down the other 6 7 deadly sins, and that can now be its own roll chart, which I think is kind of cool. That's another reason why I was like, yes, that's awesome. Okay, we already know that we don't need to do architecture because I've already said that they are like wooden homes, wooden cottages. What is their town center? That's actually cool. That's a cool roll chart. Let's roll for that. Is it a 7? Yes, it is. Their town center is a gazebo, which is kind of fun. There's probably like stairs to go up to it. It's a little bit raised. It's got like a nice, wooden roof on it. Next to it, I bet there's like a well of some kind, so people come to the town center to get water and shit. I think that's cool. Okay, so we also have town history. But before we roll for the town history, I actually want to make a check for Willie and for Paramon on myths and legends to see if they even know this town history. Have they heard about Hartsbane? Do they know what happened in Hartsbane? That's the question. I know, I keep fidgeting with my hair. It's long. I don't know what to do, but I'm trying to grow it out. I'm trying. We'll see if I make it. Okay, myths and legends, they both only have a 10. So orange one is Willie, black one is Paramon. They gotta get under a 10. 11 and 13. Nope, they both have never heard of the history of this town, so we're not even gonna roll for it. Maybe we can later. But if our characters don't know, then we don't know. Okay, this book also has city events and encounters, but I don't know if I want to do that just yet, so we're gonna put a pin in that. So I imagine us, the scene's kind of filled out now, right? So let's see what happens to our characters. What are we doing in this scene? At least we know a little bit about the town now, which is good. So things are not looking good. And we're rolling into this town, and obviously there isn't any kind of city gates or big archway for them to roll through. It's kind of just like a dirt road that just kind of goes into the town. And as we're rolling into the town, I actually want to ask a question, because sometimes I like to get right into the action to see what's going on. It helps push story forward. And we're actually going to ask, is there anything happening as we enter the town? It basically, like if we were playing Mythic right now, this would be a alteration scene check, is what this is. I'm gonna call it extremely likely. We're gonna roll 2d6, is what that means. We're gonna take the higher roll. Is this an interrupted scene? Or does it play out like normal? You know what I mean? What's going on as we roll into town? That's a 6 and a 5. So that's an extreme yes. We are interrupted by something. Very cool. So now with our extreme yes, let's pull on some cards and let's see maybe what our interrupt scene might be. See if we can get some oracle words here, which is really what I want. It's really what I want. I wish I was just using Mythic. I was just playing with Mythic for our special project coming up called the Solo Relay. I was just using Mythic and ICRPG, which are my 2 favorite systems of all time for that. And I just blazed right through it. I just had a blast. Like, it's what I'm missing. Some good oracle words, you know? And of course, DragonBane system does have oracle words. They have inspiration tables. Action attribute thing, which they do have, and I really haven't used it much because it's literally less than 60 words. It's 60 words. So anywho, let's draw a card. If we can't, we'll roll on this chart. I do like the way these cards smell though. And there's something about playing tactile that I just really love. Like when I came back in January, I told myself I would play mostly all physical with stuff, and I have been, and there's something about it that I just love. There's something that you miss when you play digital with stuff. And that goes the same for my character sheet on the tablet. Next time I'm just gonna print it. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, pull this up here. What is happening as we enter into this town? Let us see here. We've got news. I think we'll go with news. I have some ideas. What I need to do first is I need to write down the 7 deadly sins, because this could involve that. So let's do that first. In my making sure I get them all right, I actually found this really cool image. If I can, I'll put it up on screen later if I remember. But these are really cool looking demons right here that I think fit perfectly, especially Gluttony, the top left one. Really cool. I don't know how this image was made, so I don't know how much I'm going to use it in videos and for examples. You know what I mean? But very cool. All right, so what are our 7 deadly sins? We have lust, pride, sloth, wrath, greed, envy, and then of course gluttony, which we've already gotten the page for. So I pulled it over. We're looking at the news section here to see what the heck is going on. We have 2 right here, but one of them is vexed by a huge crack in the ground. That's crazy. And then I was putting these together and I was thinking ash. But here's the thing. So like ash is like maybe like pouring out of it of some kind. You know what I mean? Like this page has affected this town hardcore. It's been maybe at least a week since everything went down with Willie. So this page could be here. And if it is here, this is, you know what I mean? It's affecting this place. And I don't think that the crack in the ground just opened, right? I think that this is a dismal town, like they're in a dismal quality of life because the crack is opened, which is affecting all of the people. And I think coming out of it is just like flowing ash. So on the buildings, there's like ash just like draping down on the buildings. People are like coughing because they're breathing in all this ash all the time. And I think in the center of town, which we figured out earlier is a gazebo, I think this huge crack in the ground is right by this gazebo. So as we go into town, people are all like coughing and looking at us because all the ash everywhere. And Willie right away, I think, sees this huge crack in the ground. And he's like,
"Oh shit, Paramon. I think we've come to the right place. This place looks fucked up, man. These people are being affected by whatever that large crack in the ground is over there. There's something going on. We're gonna have to figure it out. I don't know. It's not good. It's not good at all."
Now I'm honestly just thinking like Oliver has been out in the forest hunting that orc for so long that Oliver has no idea what's going on back here in this town. Oliver's been out there hunting for like a whole week. Jeez. Okay, so this brings us to our next question. Do we think the Truthful Pegasus run this town, or are they a part of like a faction in this town? If we remember, the Truthful Pegasus was supposed to be like a rebellion guild, right? And so I don't think like a rebellion faction would just be like out in the open, kind of like running a whole friggin' town. You know what I mean? They'd probably be on the down low, right? Maybe working on whatever this problem is, because they're an order about what's right and what's wrong, right? But someone has to approach us as we enter this town. Being that we're new people rolling in after this big old catastrophic event, someone's gonna be here, someone's gonna fill us in on something. So I say, let's ask some yes or no question. Is it the town leader who sees us rolling in, who like comes out of his house or something and approaches us? Is it the town leader? 50-50. That's a 5. Yes. Okay. So it is the town leader. That's easy. Comes out to greet us, you know, like a good leader of a town would. Okay, what kind of kin is this person? That's a 10. They're an elf. Come on, give us something fun. Give us something fun. That's what I want. I'm gonna roll it again. 10 again. Okay, we're going with elf. Fine, dice. Fine. Hey. All right, male or female? That's a 2. Female elf. Female elf. There's no way that this is just Paramon's old lady, right? There's literally no way. Because she's not the leader of this town. We know that. Okay. All right. That stopped me in my tracks there. Okay, now let's roll on an attribute. We're going to use the attribute table from DragonBane for this lady. 17. Protected. Okay, so as this elf comes out, she's got a piece of cloth on her face, protecting her from the ash. You know, like a scarf around her face and maybe like a hood. This place is dismal. I imagine it like Fallout, you know, messed up. Been a whole week. This crack is probably growing. Is this crack growing? Or did it start out? Is it growing? Extremely likely. That's a 3. Yes. Okay, wait. Is a 3 a yes? No, a 3 is a no. The crack isn't growing, so it started that way. She comes out, she walks up to us, and she's like, hey, state your business. Then Willie's probably like,
hey, you're just coming out of your hut being rude like that. Look, I'm here to try to fucking help, okay? First off, I'm not a fucking maester. And second of all, the name is Willie the Wizard. All right, this is Charles, my talking magical skull. We also got Paramon. He's in search for his wife, the love of his life. She's got connections to some kind of faction around here, and we're here searching for her. But you got some magical shit going on, and maybe I can help you, okay? So don't be rude. Give me the friggin' down roll. What the fuck? You're rude to everybody? I guess you weren't completely rude, but state your business. Fuck off.
So now, let's go on ahead and roll us a persuasion roll to see how well she handles old Willie's attitude. That's what we're gonna do. Next time, I'm 100% printing out my character sheets. I can't deal with this. Okay, persuasion is a 10. No, 10. That is a 13, so we fail. So she definitely looks right back at Willie and she's like,
I'm sorry. Do you not see the state of everything that's going on? I don't know if you are here to hurt or harm us. Of course I need to know what is going on. You come into my town of Hartsbane. We've been through enough.
And then I think it's time for Paramon to speak up, and he's like,
look, I'm sorry about my friend here. This definitely is a lot. He may be a little wild, but I promise his intentions are he has good intentions. Please, we're here to help, and we have some questions. Can we go inside? This ash is really starting to bother.
And then we'll go on ahead and roll for Paramon as well. Okay, Paramon has an 11. Roll it. Is that a 10? That's a 10. So he barely makes it. She goes,
okay, fine. Come into my home.
I think Willie's like, well,
what about Petunia? Can't leave Petunia out here in all this ash. You got a place for me to keep Petunia safe.
And I think that's a good question, you know, because they do sell in livestock. Maybe they're in a dismal place because the ash is affecting the livestock. But maybe by now they've actually come up with a way to keep them safe under cover someplace, you know, some kind of stables someplace. So I'm going to call it likely. That's a 2 and a 1. She's like, no, I'm sorry. We don't have a place to store, and especially your large animal, in fact. But she might be okay under the awning of my home, at least for now. Now I'm just thinking, like, did all this ash that's like falling from these clouds, like, it's a magical ash. So we probably didn't even see it when we were out there in the forest. There's probably like an exact line of circle around this town of this ash, like an exact line. Wow. Okay. So we're going to park up Petunia, and we're going to go into this lady's house and ask some questions. Let's do it. All right, so as we enter this home, we're going to build out our next scene. That's right. So we're going to hop over to Table Fables 2. Oh, and I do want to give a quick shout out to our friend. Yes. Someone from my Amazon wishlist actually picked me up the modern Table Fables, which is going to come in handy so much whenever we play in modern games like The Walking Dead or anything else like that. You know what I mean? And I actually have my journal here. This is going to be my one-shot journal for 2026. All the one-shots that I play on the channel. And I put it in here. Look, I'm starting to scrapbook. It's fantastic. So thank you so much, Solo Master Mercy, once again. This is going to be my one-shot journal for this next year. We've actually already done a page. Yes, we have. Quick little sneak peek for a video that's going up tomorrow. Solo Relay 2026. All right, very good. So, yes, thank you so much. And one-shot journal, I'm telling you, I'm really going to try to journal and scrapbook this year. I'm going to try to get better at it because I feel like that's where I'm lacking. Okay, so moving back on, distraction. We have, in Table Fables, we have house details. So is this person, this town leader, living with anyone else as we enter in? Is there anyone else in here? That's a 6. So 1d6 plus 3 people are also in here. 6 people. There are 6 people in this house. I'm going to count one of them as her. So there's 5 other people. Maybe they're all huddled around a fire, you know what I mean, trying to stay safe and out of the ash. I'm assuming that like all the windows are like boarded up and there's like cloth over them, you know what I mean? As we walk in, like on our footsteps, we can see like a trail of ash that comes in the house, and everyone's shoes are like piled up. So she's like, please take off your shoes. Willie's probably like, my friggin' toes are stinking. You really want that? All right. And he probably flips off his old boots and plops down on a chair. Now we also have in here, we have details about the house in particularly. So we're going to add our flavor of this dismal ash on top of it, but it's a D20. That's a 3. A carpet of dark green vines clings to the walls of the house. In the summer, the vines bloom with white flowers. So they're all wilting. I mean, obviously, all these vines are like dead. So there's just like dead vines on the outside of the house. Maybe that's what's helping to cover the windows a little bit. And that's why everyone's huddled up in here. And that's that. So in here, there's a fireplace. There's definitely a fire going. Everyone's huddled around it, trying to stay warm in the ash. I'm assuming that the ash in the sky has like stopped the sun from coming in as well. So it's kind of cold here. So they're all trying to stay warm. I think you could see all their face coverings are pulled down around their necks, like these scarves, you know what I mean? We're in like an apocalypse zone right now. And you guys know how much I love apocalypse games. That's right up my alley. So this is, wait, just saying, okay. I think she sits down around this table as well. And there are 5 people over there. I don't think they're important yet. Yeah, not yet, but maybe. First, we must have this conversation with her. And I think this is one of those things where she's like, look, right off the bat, I have to tell you, I don't know if I trust you. I just got to be honest. You're coming into the town saying all these foul things. We're going through enough right now. If you look around, you can see almost everyone just left the town. We're in dismal condition, those of us that are left. Actually, on a roll to see how many people stayed in this town. We know that there was 1,900, so that number is important. We're going to roll a D20 again, times 10, and we'll see how many people just left whenever all this crap happened. That is 10. So 1,000 people left. Half. So she's like, over half the town went on and left. They left their livestock behind. All died in the ash. There are corpses just all throughout the fields. And no one's coming around to pick them up. You go out there, you walk too far, and the smell. Mr. Wizard, the smell is bad. So before I can tell you anything about what's going on and help you out in any way, I'm going to need you to prove to me that you guys are who you say you are. I'll answer any of your questions. You say there's a faction you're looking for. I might be able to answer that. But before I can, I'm going to need your help. And we're going to roll on action here on the inspiration table because that's what I'm missing. It's what I need. Action. What does she want us to do? It's a 16. Seize. Seize what? 12. Seize a message. Seize a message. So if it's seize, then obviously it's not just get a message, right? We're not just going to recover, just like go to a messenger, whatever. What I'm thinking is that a messenger of hers, maybe who has information on, it has to be pertinent to the situation, has information on this crack, maybe how to stop it or maybe where it came from, whatever. Her messenger was taken or captured and we need to go get her messenger back. Because I mean, the town's in shambles. So there has to be like rioters or like bad people, you know, like stealing stuff or whatever. Maybe people who don't believe in what she's doing or that she's not helping anything. Where is what I'm thinking. Where was he captured? If this is a town, so they probably don't have sewer tunnels. Do they have sewer tunnels? I'm gonna call it unlikely, but that would be a fun little setting. I'm gonna tell you that much. Do they have sewer tunnels? I called it unlikely. That's a 1, so no, they don't have sewer. Was this person seized in town or outside of town? Is the question. So yes or no? Were they seized in town? That's also a 1. So no, they were not taken in town. They were taken outside of town. Maybe they got information from somewhere else. And now when they were coming back, something happened to them. So maybe it wasn't like rioters or someone in town. I was like, my brain was already running. And I was like, what if the truthful Pegasus doesn't like the leader and they're fighting and the truthful Pegasus is kidnapped the messenger and you know what I mean? But that's story writing, right? We're not story writing. We're not writing a book. Okay. We are playing a game, right? So we're going to let the game tell us what the heck's going on. But we do need to make sometimes executive decisions, but this isn't one of them right now. It could come into play. I don't know. But outside of town, this person was captured. I'm like, do badgers have good noses? And that's weird. That's right where my brain went. But I'm like, what if she has like an old sweater of his or something and Petunia can help us track him down, you know? I actually want to Google it now because that's kind of fun. Wow. See, it looks like you guys in the comments made the right decision by going with badger. Yes, badgers have an excellent, highly developed sense of smell, often cited as being 700 to 800 times more sensitive than a human's. This acute sense is their primary tool for navigating, foraging for food, and communicating, as their eyesight is extremely poor. Relatively poor, it said. Okay, good to know. All right, so we built that out a little bit. What does she say? The messenger. She has to know the messenger's name, right? She has to. And she has to know like what the messenger looks like. So a couple more rolls here. What kind of kin is the messenger? So we know who we're looking for. 8. It's a dwarf. Why can't we not get anything fun? Dang it. I'm gonna roll it again. Don't give me 8 again, dice, I swear. What is that? That's a 4. Okay, it's even worse. It's a human. Fine. The kin is a human. Jeez. And she has to know their name. Male or female. Oops, in the box, please. That's a 4, so it's a male by the name of 43. Gurneil. Okay, Gurneil, the human messenger. All right, so she's like,
This thing you must do for me, before I know I can trust you. Outside of town, my messenger. His name is Gurneil. He's coming back to town. He went out in search of answers. I believe, hopefully, he might have found something. But he has not returned. Has been a whole fortnight. And he has not... Fortnight, is that right? It's been a whole night, and he hasn't been back. I'm assuming something has happened to him. I need you to leave. You're going to head north.
in the direction away from Bolgara, so we can discover something else.
Because that's where he was headed. The only thing I have of his is his old sweater. Hopefully this will be of help.
And she hands us the sweater. And then Willie's gonna respond.
All right, lady. Sounds good. We're gonna prove to you that you can trust us. We'll find your messenger. We'll help you out. Just so you know, we are here to help. So of course we will. But as soon as we get back, we want answers. We're not here to waste time. And quite honestly, if we find your messenger and he learns something, we may be able to help you with everything, okay? But we're looking for someone, and we need to find him. It's for my man Paramon. He's really good at writing poems, you know. Any fucking who. We've got everything we need. You'll see us again in a day. Or sooner. All right.
Now, I do not think any kind of a skill check was needed, but maybe while she was talking, Willie was kind of checking out the 5 other people that's in this room. So I want to do an awareness check real quick, just to see if maybe he notices anything about them, anything strange or odd, or were they paying attention to our conversation? That's important. Oops. Okay, his awareness is 11. So let's go ahead and see if we can see anything going on with that guy there. 19. Nope. Almost a critical fail. Wow. Okay. So quickly we step up and we put our shoes back on. And I think Willie being Willie, if there's any kind of like food or anything on the table, like a piece of bread or something, he definitely grabs it and like eats it on his way out. Because he's always trying new things, putting things in his mouth, you know. And as he's leaving, he probably goes, "All right, bitches, I'll be back." Steps out into the wilderness, goes over to Petunia. I think when we get to Petunia, we can tell that she's, you know, not feeling, or like these ash has affected her a little bit. So Willie's already like, he cares about Petunia too much, and we're gonna get on her and we're gonna go back out and take the long way around to the north around the city. And I think as we're going around the city, as we said before, we can see that there is like, this is our transition scene, by the way, for everybody following along. We can see that there is like a legit circle of ash around this town. Like it's just covering this town for whatever reason. We're gonna go all the way around to the north, and then once we get there and we see Petunia's smelling and doing things a little bit better, you know what I mean? I think Willie's going to take this shirt and he's going to turn to Paramon and he's going to be like, "Okay, well, we might as well give this a shot then, I say. Petunia." And then he hops down, maybe gives her a piece of that bread that he grabbed, you know? "Good girl." And then he's like, "Now, I know you can't understand me, but the man that wore this last, we need to find him, and he's that way. You understand?" And he like pets her head, you know? She's probably just looking at him like curious. He's like, "Smell this and take us to him, Petunia, okay? This is you now. This is your task. It's the party." And she's just gonna hold it out. And I think she is for sure going to smell it. I don't want to make a yes or no question here and kind of put us in a roadblock. I want our story to keep moving forward, so I'm not gonna ask that question. I'm just gonna say she is gonna smell it and she's gonna start heading forward. And Willie's gonna take the shirt and go back into the cart, and she's gonna start pulling us forward. Now, weirdly enough, I need to make a bushcraft roll for Petunia, because Petunia is now leading us to the north in this forest. So how well is she following this scent is my question. It's going to depend on how well it takes us to find this person. And I think each scene or each round, I'm going to roll a yes or no to see if we see them, hear them, or there's a sign of something going on. So that'll also depend on how long it takes us to get there. And we'll do extremely likely or unlikely, depending on how our bushcraft roll goes each round. That sounds fun. Cool little mini game right here. All right, Petunia, here's your bushcraft. She's a friggin' badger. I'm going to assume she has a 12. Get under a 12, Petunia. What is that? Is that a 19? So she takes off to the left. And Willie's like, "Where the fuck? Where are you going?" And she's like, "Well, you gotta trust the badger, I fucking guess." And Paramon's like, "Are you sure this is the right way that we should be doing this?" And Willie's like, "You know, it's all we've got. It's all we've got, Paramon. That town is messed up and we've got to try, you know." So she takes off to the left. We're going to call it 4 rounds of journey per day. So in our first round of journey here, I'm going to call it extremely, extremely unlikely. I'm actually going to roll 3d6. I probably don't even need to. That's a 6 and a 1. So yeah, we don't come across any signs of the guy. And so once noon starts to roll around, Willie gets off the carriage and goes up to Petunia and he goes, "Okay now, Petunia, I know you can't understand me, but there's a guy who used to wear this fucking shirt. We need to find him." And she smells it and he goes, "All right now, be good and find him for us. You've got the smeller, you can do it." And he gets back on the carriage and we take off again, and we're gonna make another bushcraft roll for Petunia. Are we back on track? That's a 2. It was almost a critical success. Okay, we're back on track. Petunia heads back to the north. She's headed north. That's good. And being that it's noon and we were so far off track before, I'm still going to call it unlikely that we see any signs of him. This being our first little bout here. But we're back on track. Actually, since it was such a good roll, it was a 2, I'm going to say just normal. I'm just going to roll a d6. Is there any sign that we can see of this guy or what's going on? What is that? Is that a 6? That is a 6. Okay, extremely likely. So we spend all the afternoon going through the forest, and towards the end of noon, we come across something. What is that something? Okay, we're out of our transition scene now. We need to figure out what that is. We need some oracle words and things. I actually think it's kind of fun if we back up a little bit and we say that the first time that Petunia took off to the left, it's because she was like chasing down like some mushrooms or some food or something. Like she was hungry, and so she's actually eating the mushrooms. So then when Willie like got off the cart the second time, he was like, "Quit chasing mush. We need to find this guy, okay? Are you still fucking hungry? Jesus." And then we took, I think that that's just a fun little narrative bit, actually. So we'll say that happened. All right, but we need to pull us some cards. We need to see what's going on. We need some oracles here. What is next? Let's see. What do we stumble into? Let's see. So we're going to go with ambience and place, I think, so we can see what we stumble into. And we've got specific folks in a trench. Specific folks. That means it's not just some random dudes. It's specific kind of folks. Okay, and they are, we'll go up to news here. They are, what did you use their card? Threatened by an active danger. Specific folks threatened by an active danger. The other side of these cards would have been funny. A moaning restaurant. Okay, we chose correctly that time. Very good. Specific folks in a trench. So we approach, we could see a trench in front of us, and there's some specific folks. And on the other side of that trench, like they're hiding in the trench, there's something over there that is threatening them. Specific folks. How funny would it have been if we would have rolled names for the guy and it was Oliver again? Like the messenger was Oliver? That'd have been friggin' hilarious. Okay. Just thinking about that now, but it's not, obviously. So specific folks. Do I still have all my factions written down? Yeah, I do. Okay, so we have Order of the Empty Goblet, we have the Grogan Ridders, we have Truthful Pegasus. So the Empty Goblet's done with. They're already taken out. So we could actually just make this number 1. This could just be factions of a page, you know? Cult of a page. Even if they're, like, I don't think every single page is going to have a cult attached to it. So we'll do or something. Some kind of people dealing with that. So that'll be our next, like, rule chart thing. Cult of a page or something. Because I don't think every single page isn't going to have a following, right? That'd be too predictable. But we also have the Grogan Ridders and we have the Truthful Pegasus, so it could absolutely be them. I would like to have something number 4 on here so we could roll on it, so I'm trying to think of what that would be. I'm trying to think about who else would be around here. Maybe I could just write in there new faction or new, you know, something. We'll put like wild card, so it'll be like a new group of people. So now we've made our own little faction roll chart for our specific folks that now we can roll on. Who do we stumble upon as we roll up into this trench? There's a 1. So a cult of the page or something. Cult of the page or something. So it could basically be like, but if there's a danger for this page on the other side here, what would that danger be to the cult? Because the cult is already bad. What would be a bad to a bad? Sometimes it's good to just keep it simple, stupid. So before I can fill this out to keep it simple, stupid, I want to ask a question here. Do we see the messenger in the trench? Since we followed Petunia's nose, I'm going to say extremely likely. We see the messenger in the trench. Yeah, that's a 5. So yeah, we see the messenger in there. That's good. What if it is the last couple people of the Order of the Empty Goblet? Remember we said the leader was like wearing shiny clothes and was like covered in tattoos? I'm gonna call it unlikely, but is he here in this here trench? Unlikely. That is a 6 and a 4. Is 4 yes? 4 is a yes. So the leader, we found the leader of the Empty Goblet. He's in this trench. They've captured this messenger, which means that the messenger has information for sure, which means that the crack in the ground has something to do with the page, which is good. So that puts that together. We like that a lot. But what would be, well, I mean, obviously, if the Truthful Pegasus got wind because the people were hung up in the trees, the Truthful Pegasus is now prowling around the city. A danger to a danger, right, would be the Truthful Pegasus on the other side of this trench. Like we can see this group of people. which are our hunters and our gatherers of Hartsbane. I really feel like they're like kind of like the main people who kind of do all the hunting and all the, you know what I mean? Like they all have bows and arrows, like crossbows, like really nice ones. And they have to have some kind of matchy logo for the Truthful Pegasus, like on a shield, on a chest piece, you know what I mean? And they're all kind of standing out, like looking around, trying to find these guys. And we see the leader and at least one other guy. Is it more than one guy? Is it more than one guy with the leader? 5, yes. So how many others? We'll roll a d4. 4. It's the leader and 4 guys down in this trench, and we see the messenger, and the messenger has his hands tied up and his mouth gagged, and we could tell right away because it's like a human who is definitely not meant to be there. So Willie's just straight up assuming. And we pull up with our cart and we see this situation. What are we gonna do? This is intense here. Which also means the Cult of the Empty Goblet may have lost the first page, but maybe they were trying to find information on another page, and that's when they found the messenger. So maybe they also want this information. They're like, tell us, you know? Like, because if we can't have the first page, we'll use the second page and summon a different demon. What would Willie do in this situation? I think I know what he would do, which is going to need us to get a battle map. But first, let's let him say it for himself.
Hey, assholes! He's in the friggin' trench! Get him, Charles! Lightning! Of course I'm gonna hit these assholes with some lightning. What else do you think I was gonna do? Screw these guys.
That's that. And now we're back in battle map territory. What's gonna happen is Willie's actually gonna get an attack of opportunity. And of course, before he uses his attack of opportunity, he's gonna tell Paramon to unhook Petunia from the cart. And then he's going to yell and he's going to cast it. And I think when he yells, the Truthful Pegasus looks, Willie points down at the trench, and then he casts lightning. And he's going to cast it on, well, there's 5 guys down there. One of them's a leader. We also need to roll to see how many Truthful Pegasus people there are. Does it look like there is a leader of the Truthful Pegasus there? Like someone bigger, someone smarter, someone, you know what I mean? Someone leading the group. I'm going to call it extremely likely. That's a 6, so exceptional, yes. There are 2 leaders of the group. There are, because it's exceptional, right? And how many others? Just like we did for the Colts, we'll roll a d4. That is a 3, so there are 5 of these guys. Very good. Now, we're gonna hop over to our battle map time, everybody. Let's do it. So, here we are. We've got our 3 minis down here. We've got Petunia, we've got Paramon, of course we've got Willie the Wizard, our mini provided to us by Sword and Stone Hobbies. Shout out, yes. Now we have the 5 cultists, the last of the Order of the Empty Goblet, here, numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have the 5 members of the Truthful Pegasus, all over here. And I think we're gonna call this one a leader. This is my dry erase marker. I actually got out of a mouse ritter box. It's kind of cool. We're gonna call this one a leader. I need new coins. I've had these for way too long. There we go. And we're gonna call this one a leader. There we go. And we're gonna flip these over, because if you look and see, the coins are different on each side, so that helps us. Now they're down in a trench. I'm gonna assume, since we've seen them, that this trench is like right here, right? And we're on the same level as them, so they're up high. Now, Willie is going to cast Lightning Flash. We're going to give Willie a boon on this because he caught them by surprise. But Lightning Flash, if we all remember, you call down a flash of lightning from the sky. It's coming out of Charles's skull. That's our fiction. If the spell is cast successfully, the target takes 2d6 damage. The Lightning Flash continues to another random target within 2 meters of the target, inflicting another 2d4 damage. Each power level beyond the first increases the number of dice rolled for each damage by 1. Metal armor has no effect, but the spell can be dodged or parried as a ranged attack. And if this is successfully done, no further targets are hit. So we got a roll to hit with this thing and our skill of Animism, which, oh, I forgot to level it up. Let's do that. Does it go up? It doesn't. Okay, that's fine. Our roll of Animism is 13. That's what we've got to beat to be able to hit this guy. Do we think... This is a lot of targets here. I'm going to do 1 card for the minions of the cult, 1 card for the leader, and then the same for this, right? And then we're going to have R3 here. Since we got them by surprise, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that they're not going to dodge this attack. But I also want to point out to everybody that here in the solo rules for DragonBane, we actually have simple NPC templates of minion and boss, right? So the boss is going to have 20 HP and the minions are going to have 12. And that's going to be the same and relevant for the other guys over there as well. I don't think they're going to dodge, but Willie's going to aim right for the, of course, the leader. And we're going to give him a boon because we caught them by surprise. can't see what that is. I don't want to touch it and move. Is that a 1? That's a 1! Baby, yes! That's what I'm talking about. That's so exciting. Heck yeah. And he got 2 1s in last episode, too. I was rewatching it, and I was like, sheesh. So here's the question, then. Is it double damage across the board? And we're also going to cast it at a higher level as well. I forgot to say that. So it's going to take more of our willpower, but we want to just take this guy out. So let's go all in. Let's do power level 3. So that means it's going to be 5d6 doubled, which also makes it 5d4 on the adjacent creatures. I'm going to let this take all the willpower, which makes it 6 willpower we just used. 6 willpower. Sick. Okay, and we got the critical hit. So 5d6 twice is 10d6. I really want to roll them all together, so I'm going to get some more dice right now. I am a dice goblin. Is this enough? Let's see. 3, 6, 9, 10. It is enough. Sick. Very happy right now. Okay. Willie finally gets to shine. Get him, Charles! Charles is like, yes, fuck these fools. Yeah. Cool. 10d6 damage. Let's count it. 10, 20, 33. 33 damage in total. Which is just gonna decimate that leader. I think from the trench, there's this crazy bright flash of green. So if the Truthful Pegasus people didn't hear Willie the first time, now they absolutely did. Straight at the leader's face, my dude is melted Palpatine style. And then this lightning is going to ricochet and hit the next guy. And since this is also double, we did it at 3rd power. It is 3 plus the 2 original is 5d4 doubled, which makes it 10d4. Okay, ricochet. 7, 10, 16, 22. My goodness. 27. Melts the second guy. Both dead. Now it says if the person dodges that it won't ricochet again, but no one has dodged yet. So at this point, since it's ricocheted and hit 2 people on a surprise attack, I want to now roll yes or no to see if the third guy is going to dodge. 50-50. That's a 2. He doesn't dodge. Okay. 10d4. 3. 6, 8, 12, 15. Decimates the third guy. Does the next guy dodge? That is a 1. Extreme no. Okay. 5, 10. He's already dead. Do I need to keep rolling? I don't. Decimated that guy. Last guy. Does he dodge? 2. No. Okay. It's a 1. 4, 9. Way more than we needed. Dead. Decimated. Okay. Surprise round attack. Critical hit. 6 willpower to an extreme ricochet. Look, and I'm going to say this. The book doesn't say that it ricochets off more than one person. But all it does say is that it doesn't ricochet if someone dodges. The lightning anyway. So I'm going to push the truth here for a second, just because I think that it's fun. Always feel free to make your own house rules and be as fair or as not fair to yourself as you want. I think it's so cool to impress the Truthful Pegasus and just take out 5 of these cultists in one big old go. Petunia doesn't even get to attack. No one takes any damage. Everything is fine. But now they might actually be a little bit scared, a little bit threatened by Willie for the fact that he just melted 5 guys. Let's clean up our initiative stuff. Wow, that was cool. Just decimated him. Just decimated him. Absolutely insane. Okay. I love it. I love it so much. Look, I'm happy with it and I'm having fun. So who cares? All right. As that happens, I think all of the people from the Truthful Pegasus stand there in awe as this lightning flash happens in the trench. So basically all they seen was this wizard hop off this cart and then go, "Hey assholes, he's in the trench. Lightning!" And then a big old green flash. And then as the green flash settles, Willie's just standing there, probably like smacking his chops. You know what I mean? Just like standing there like, "Good to go. All right, Paramon, loot the bodies." And then I think he's going to walk with his stick over through the trench and he's going to look at the messenger guy and he's going to stand there and we're about to talk to the messenger. Truthful Pegasus is probably going to start approaching us as well. But while that's happening, we're going to roll to see what treasure we get. We're going to go a couple times here because it was 5 guys and one of them was a leader. We're going to do treasure. We're going to do a book. We're going to do a trade good. Whoops. Then I'm going to ask again, is there a grimoire? I'm actually, because this guy could, it seems to me this leader would have one of those. So 50-50, that's a 1. Dang it, there's no grimoire. All right, fine. I want Willie to get more spells. We get a chess set, a chalice. I'm going to write these down. And a book that is the Handbook of the Master Carpenter. Dude, mess off with that, okay? We're going to re-roll it. There's no way we're getting the Handbook of the friggin' Carpenter again. Yeah, how about this? Instead, let's do Scavenge Interesting Item. A key. All right, a key to something. Chalice is good because we can sell the chalice. Because remember, we're broke right now.
Hey, Willie, look. We can play chess.
Oh, I'm gonna beat your ass in that game. I'm the best gamer. I'm a hardcore gamer.
All right, and he's going to look down at this messenger guy, and I think he's just going to lean down on one knee, and he's going to start untying him. He's going to take the gag out of its mouth, and I think the messenger right away is going to be scared as shit of Willie because of what just went down. I'm not even going to roll the null dice. I'm just going to say he's scared. He's like,
oh, please, mister, look. Don't hurt me. That was insane. Please don't hurt me.
and Willie's like,
Well, good for you, because I'm actually here to help. You see, the leader of Hartsbane sent me this way to save your ass, so good thing I was here.
He goes, oh, thank God. Please. Oh, thank you. Please.
He's like, yeah, go on ahead and take a seat on the old cart over there. We're going to talk more in a second.
It's like, okay. And I think as he walks over, Petunia like growls at him. She's like protecting the cart, so he's kind of scared. We could like see it in the background as he talks to the other people. Okay, now we got some questions to ask, some things here to build out with this guy. Yes, we do. Okay, so as we approach the two leaders of the Truthful Pegasus, I don't know what their impression of Willie's going to be. Obviously, they think he's friggin' powerful, right? My original idea was to have him have to go on a quest for them to like prove himself, to be able to get information from them. But this kind of solves that whole thing. Honestly, if they weren't here, we probably would have had to have done that as well. So it's cool that the dice, we rolled, allowed them to be here for this. So as we approach the two leaders here, we're going to roll on our null dice to see what their initial disposition is towards us. Well, that's not good. I mean, it makes sense. They will attack. It might seem unexpected. This is an instinct to them, or they just like to fight. So I think they're all brandishing their weapons as Willie comes up out of this trench, right? Like they think he's some kind of crazy demon guy. They're ready to take him out. They're all with their weapons out. And Willie's just walking real slow with Charles. And he's like,
okay, assholes, look, calm down. Those guys in the trench down there, that was the cult of the empty goblet, the friggin' cultist guys. I'm not gonna hurt you guys. You guys seem like cool guys. All right, guys, calm the fuck down.
And they're all still brandishing their weapons. I think persuasion roll will be to 10 here. See how this goes. That's a 7. Okay, that's good. That's real good. So they don't attack, but they're still on edge around Willie. They're like, we don't trust you. So their weapons are still out, but they do not attack. And whom is this? One of these leaders here. Yay, we get to roll. It's going to be a fantastical kin, okay? I'm not going to play this with you anymore, book. There it is. Sheesh. Okay, so Mallard or Wolfkin. One of them two. And you know what? We'll just do a D4. 1 and 2 is Mallard. 3 and 4 is Wolfkin. It's a 2. So one of them's a Mallard. And then the other leader, we'll just roll the D12. 4 is a human. So we have a Mallard and a human. And both of them two step up first. Like they're together. What is the Mallard? The Mallard is a female. It's a female Mallard. She steps forward. And Mallard are like the cool duck people in this game. Like this, right? Very cool stuff. So she steps forward, and I'm going to assume the human is a guy. And just to keep some diversity here. And I really want to try to do a Daffy Duck impression, but I don't think I can. My dad does a really good one, but I can't I can't do it. So it's just like, shucks. So you are some kind of powerful mage guy, are ya? You just took them all out in one fell swoop? I think Willie's like,
oh, yeah,
he's all shy. He's like,
I guess I did pretty dang good there, didn't I? Who are you guys? You guys are the Pegasus fuckers, right?
No, we don't. No, we are the Truthful Pegasi, correct. We were out here searching, trying to take down those cultists before they came into our town. We think maybe they have something to do with this huge crack that opened in the middle of our city.
And Willie's like, no, it wasn't them. Those assholes are doing other shit. But it's good because they were bad guys, though. For sure.
I think the other guy steps forward and he's like,
okay, sir. Thank you for helping us in this combat. For I do not trust your prowess yet, but we will thank you for doing this.
And Willie's like, good. Would you say maybe you owe me one? Because me and my friend Paramon over there are actually searching for someone who has a relation to you. Do you know, maybe, a half-elf woman by the name of Moralyn?
And then I think another fun thing to do, when he mentions her name, what is their reaction, right? We'll roll the null dice on that to see what is their reaction when he mentions their name. We've got 2 and 2, which I believe both of those are run. Will flee, elusive, afraid. They're afraid of her? Maybe they're afraid of what's happened to her. Maybe they're afraid to tell Willie what's going on. So he's like,
that name, why do you mention her?
Willie's like, well, my friend over there, Paramon, that's his old lady, that's his wife.
Why are they scared? I need something. We're gonna roll on this chart here. 8. Guard decaying group. Decaying. Guard? Maybe they're guarding the secret of what's going on with her. They are guarded. They're guarding a secret about her. I think that's pretty okay. I think he's like,
Yes, her husband. Well, maybe we can fill you in, but not here. Not now. We must go. Back to Hartsbane. Handle your business and meet us there.
where would he ask me? Maybe at the entrance of like some kind of like hidden, some hidden thing? Hidden passageway. I don't know. It's card time. Meet us where? Meet us. Grotesque library. Are they held up in a library? Books? Willie loves books. Maybe it's a beat up old library. Maybe it's really old. No one uses it anymore. You know what I mean? Grotesque, that's what that says to me. The library. He's like,
Meet us in front of the old library.
and Willie's like,
Oh shit, books. Yeah, I fucking love me some good books. I tell you, I'm a good reader.
That's good for you, sir. Meet us there tonight. We will speak more then.
He's like, all right, sounds good. You guys be on your way then. Oh, be careful.
he like, with Charles.
Oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm just kidding. You guys seem like cool guys. I'd never. Oh, hey, I'm just kidding.
That's fucking fun. All right, and then they take off. And I think this whole time Paramon's been tending to the messenger and also putting all the stuff in the cart. And then he walks up to Willie and he's like, so what happened? What did they say? And Willie's like,
Well, they didn't tell me exactly about your old lady, but they said there's something going on. They seem kind of guarded about it, but they said maybe we could talk more tonight. They said to meet us at a library place. They said I was a badass though. Just so you know, they said like I was really cool. I was like the friggin' coolest dang old fucking wizard they had ever seen before in their lives. They were like, wow, look at this Willie guy.
Paramon's like, fine, Willie, come on, focus.
He's like, all right, yeah, so we're gonna go handle this and then we'll go handle that. Sound good?
Sure, let's do it. And then he hooks up Petunia, and then we're gonna transition scene. And I think as we're writing, actually, a little bit of dialogue is warranted. It's like Willie's talking to the messenger, and he's like,
So, my man, did you figure anything out? What's going on?
and he's like, yeah, something big. Hopefully, maybe something that'll save our town. But I can't share that information with you. We gotta get back. He's like, okay, sounds good. And they haul ass through all the afternoon, and then they're gonna arrive back at like dawn. The sun's going down. They're gonna get back into the town. I think that's cool. So that's our transition scene out of the way. I have some ideas. I do. But we're gonna have to roll some charts, figure out some stuff, because we're not storytelling, right? We're gonna roll and see if we can put some words together to see what the heck's going on, all right? And maybe I'll explain what my ideas are if it comes up. So, we roll back in dawn, into Hartsbane. As we do, the city is quiet. We move through the field of ash. As we do, I think the messenger already has a scarf ready, and he puts it over his face. And I think maybe while we were writing, maybe Paramon, maybe we could do a little bushcraft thing for him. Did he craft us up some scarves? It's a 19. He tried, and he failed. So that's something. Comedy effect. Willie just puts this thing around his nose. I'm protected now too. Just some like bad scarves that dude couldn't make. But we hop off. We're gonna park Petunia underneath the awning again. He's gonna pet Petunia on her head, and he's gonna go, okay, here we go. And then we're gonna knock on the door. There's probably like a secret knock that the messenger does, And then the door opens, and she is surprised right away. She's like, oh, no way. You actually did it. Please hurry. Come in, sit. And I think the other 5 guys that were in there, are all of them still in there? 4, yes. Okay, so they're all still in there, sitting around the fire. They look up as we enter, like they're also very surprised. And we sit around the table. And what does he have in his hands? An object. So one thing we actually haven't used on these cards yet is object. We've got prop of, see, these have props right here. Gong, that doesn't work. We always usually draw 2 anyway, so let's see. Bride, that doesn't work either. Telling you. I'm going to use some different cards next time around. Today's the last episode. We're going to be using the downcrawl cards, so enjoy them. It's a cool idea. If the theme was better, if there was a better theme for these. I love the idea of the arrows and stuff. It's very cool. But all right. See if these 2 cards can give us anything else. So maybe he doesn't pull anything out. Maybe that's kind of what the cards are telling us. Maybe he learns something. And so we actually have a folk concept on here of need, terrain, resource. So on this one, we have terrain of floating stones. Need, no, floating stones don't work. Let's try this way. This is kind of a big question, so I want to make sure we get it right. This is veins of ore. That doesn't work either. Interesting. Okay. I'm getting nothing from these. I've looked kind of through all 3 of these, just kind of seeing if anything sticks out, anything might make sense. I'm getting nothing. So instead, let's roll. Maybe this roll will help us figure out what 7 deadly sin might be connected to this. So let's roll. That is a 6 and a 4. Escape creature. Escape creature. Is there a creature trying to escape from the crack in the earth? Trying to release some kind of creature? Is the demon just trying to escape from there? Because I mean, like, yeah, that makes sense. The demon's trying to come out of the crack, which actually we didn't know before, so that does help. Where's our roll chart? Okay, do any of these 7 deadly sins make sense in the context that we already have? I don't think lust, pride, or greed make sense, because those are going to have way more of an influence on the city, much like gluttony did. Sloth might be good, and wrath might be good. So I'm just doing some reading. I think that the demon of wrath will probably actually be like the final demon we have to fight. Sounds like it's going to be the toughest one. The demon of sloth is all kind of about shortcuts and like laziness, putting people to sleep is probably what's going to happen there. So I was looking up envy, and an envy, it is a headless, fire-breathing spirit. So all the ash and the fire and the crack in the ground, delighting in stealing what others have, and stealing others' heads. In the Dragon Age universe, they're shapeshifters. Kind of fun. I like Dragon Age a lot, so that's fun. They're often, though, described as cowardly, relying on manipulation to hide their resentment, and are associated with causing or feeding off of social discord. So they're cowardly. So maybe they haven't come out yet because they're coward. But here's the thing. Now that we know that it's probably the demon of envy, which I'm totally cool with, I think that that's fun. Did the messenger figure out how to stop the crack from opening and letting the demon of envy in? Okay, I'm gonna roll a d6. Did they figure out how to stop it, or did they just figure out what it was? 5. So they did figure out how to stop it. Great. How do we stop it? Let's roll on action. 4. Deliver what? Thing. Oh, that was a 6. Sorry. Whoops. Roll a d20. Try that again. Okay. Protect what? Protect resource. What resource would that be? Protect resource. What is our resource of this town? Is livestock. That makes sense. So it has to just be a different kind of resource. Goodness, this is tough. This is a really hard decision. I think I'm overthinking everything because I want to, like this is another god, right? So another demon, right? So we want to make sure we do it right. But I think I'm overthinking it. My original idea was that it's this god, this demon is linked to Morlin somehow. The reason that the truthful Pegasus was guarding the secret they didn't want to tell him was because something happened to Morlin. And whenever Willie mentions her, they think about the thing that happened to her. That's what made them scared. And they were like, oh God, because it reminded them what happened. And I think I really want to link up these two stories to make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more narrative, right? So the messenger figured out what is going to happen. This demon is going to escape from the crack in the ground. And he tells her that, but then we also got protect resource. And I want to link it to Morlin somehow. So how do we do that? I mean, maybe she is heavily being affected by the magic that's coming out of the crack in the ground. And so the people of the truthful Pegasus are actually protecting her, stopping her from being taken. Maybe the god of envy needs a vessel because it takes heads, right? And maybe she's like super beautiful. Also, on this card, the second item we drew, prop, was bride. So maybe we are doing bride, just not the way that we thought. So this still actually works. So I think the messenger says, the demon that's trying to escape from the ground, it needs a vessel. And from what I was told, if the crack is this big, it has already chosen. And maybe that's why she was taken just like out of thin air from wherever she was. It like the demon teleported her here to this crack in the ground. And then the people of the Pegasus, they seen what was going down. And so they grabbed her and took her into their hideout, and they've got her like chained up or something. They're trying to like keep her safe. And so at this point, I think Willie goes, a fucking bride, you say? Oh shit, Paramon. And he looks at him and he's like, do you think that's your bitch? And Paramon's like, well, maybe. She was taken out of thin air. She just disappeared. And the messenger's like, yes, it says once it chooses, it just picks. He's like, oh goodness. Well, we have some leads. We were just speaking with one of the factions earlier today, the Truthful Pegasus. And I think the town leader's like, I don't really like them. But if they're going to help, then good. Just don't mention my name. Which, by the way, we don't even know yet. We haven't even asked. That's funny. Paramon's like, fine, I don't know it anyway. Willie's like, okay, well, sounds like we gotta go meet up with some dudes. And we'll figure out how to save her. Maybe if we could speak to her, maybe she'll have some answers for us. Maybe she'll be able to teach us how to stop the demon of envy. I think we must go. Quickly. This is no time for shenanigans. I'm thinking about the 5 guys who are also in this room. Do they say anything? Extreme yes. Okay. One of them stands up, and I think it would be perfect if the other person in this room was like hiding in here, pretending to be like just a normal person needing shelter, but it's actually like the main leader of the Truthful Pegasus. So like the 2 guys we met out in the field were just like, you know what I mean? Like leaders, but this is like the captain who is just hiding in here trying to get information. And I think as soon as that happens, they like stand up and they like take off their cloak. And they're like, okay, well, we got to build out who this person is. Male or female? It's a female. A female what? I really want it to be a wolfkin. I'm just going to say it's a wolfkin. It's a female wolfkin. They take off their cloak. You guys know how much I love a strong woman with an eye patch. You know what I mean? This wolfkin doesn't have an eye patch, though. Stands up, takes off their cloak, and you could see their large maw, you know what I mean? And like underneath their cloak, there was like a big old chest piece of the truthful Pegasus. And she looks right at the town leader and she's like, I know you don't like me, but I don't care. We must fight for what's right. Willie, I've heard everything. I know everything. Let's go together. And he's like, oh shit, plot twist. She was here the whole fucking time. Let's go. I'll be back. And then I think they storm out and they're going to head to the library together through the town. We're going to see some stuff going on through the town. There's going to be some stuff happening. We're going to meet Palgara's old lady. We're going to figure out what's going on there. But you know what? I think creatively, my brain is drained. I've played for as long as I could. I don't know how long that was. I wasn't keeping track of time or scenes or nothing. I was just playing. Hopefully it was a good long episode for you guys. As promised, episode 5. If you want to see me come back and do more episodes, make sure to leave a like on this one, right? This is the episode that needs the likes. This is the episode that, it's always the 5th one, right? If the 5th one gets enough likes, I'll come back and do more, right? It shows me that everyone watched all the way through and they want more. So make sure to leave a like, because the more it gets, the sooner I'll come back and I'll do more. Or I really want to also leave it at a cliffhanger, because then that's going to encourage me to come back and do more. Paramon's wife is in danger and trying to be taken over as a vessel for the demon of envy. It was really hard to come to that conclusion, but I think we made the right choice. Let me know what you think. Would you have chosen a different thing? I know after I say it, it's hard to think about something else, but let me know what you would have thought. We need names as well. The name of the town leader, the reason I didn't pick previously is because it's going to come from you guys in the comments. The name of the wolfkin leader of the truthful Pegasus. It's going to come from you guys, all right? So throw me down some names, and I think those two are going to be really important. All right, we'll take some name suggestions, and let me know what you think. For now, this is going to put a pause on our DragonBane campaign. Thank you all so much for watching to this point. I really do appreciate it. If you want more of Willie, remember, I have a song and a comic. There'll be links down in the description. I think I already know what we're going to be doing next here on the channel, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next on campaign one-shot thing that we decide to do. If you want to learn how to play solo yourself, we have the Solo Academy. It's on the website. You can check out all the tips and tricks I do. Also, there's a playlist on the YouTube channel for the Solo Academy that takes you from beginning to end on how to solo and how to play and tips and tricks and things. It's, you know, how I think that solo playing should be done, and, you know, just some advice. So thank you so much for also checking that out. Look, I've been Turk. I'm not Willie the Wizard. That's a different guy. I'll see all of you guys in the next video. Take a seat on the couch and roll initiative, at least until you go Emperor Palpatine on 5 cultists yourself. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Toodaloo! It's hard to spin when there's a green screen behind me, so I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, this is a green screen, by the way. Look at y'all. Check this out. That's wild, huh? It's so I can do this. It's literally, it's literally why. It's also so I can do this. You know what I mean? Look, hey, I'm one guy, you know? Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Laters.